A girl enters an elevator just as the elevator doors were about to close. At that very moment, a hand suddenly blocked the doors from shutting. However, the person who entered was a strange figure wearing a helmet. After exiting the elevator, the girl was shocked to discover that this peculiar individual lived right next door to her. Once inside her apartment, she cautiously locked the door securely. After ensuring her safety, she laid on the bed and started a phone call with her boyfriend. But just then, she noticed an extra towel on the cabinet, with a strand of hair on it. Infuriated, the girl stormed out of her room and hurled insults at the creepy neighbor next door. After knocking on the door for a while with no response, she returned to her apartment, planning to review the security camera footage. However, just as she was about to play the recording, she heard a knock at the door. Upon opening it, she found no one there. Suddenly, she caught a glimpse of a figure darting to the side. As the girl slowly approached, she discovered it was a little girl with only one eye. Back inside, the girl continued to examine the security footage. To her horror, she saw that after she had left, a stranger entered her home and even took a sip from the beer she had just been drinking. A chill ran down the girl's spine. As she slowly turned her head to look behind her, the helmet-wearing person was standing right behind the door. He slowly pulled out an iron rod. In the end, the girl met a tragic demise at the hands of the iron rod. The next day, the male protagonist received a phone call. The apartment manager informed him that his brother seemed to have gone missing and asked him to come and collect his belongings. As he looked at the home of his brother, whom he hadn't seen in years, a whirlwind of emotions stirred within him. The two had a strained relationship since childhood and hadn't seen each other since their mother's passing. While the man was washing up, he noticed a clump of mud on the floor. Following the trail, he arrived at the kitchen, where someone was stealing food from the refrigerator. The person was covered in red boils from head to toe. When the man turned his head, the protagonist was shocked. This person was actually his brother. Fortunately, it was just a dream. The man then visited his brother's real apartment, the very building where a girl had been beaten to death by the helmet-wearing killer just the day before. Led by the manager, he entered his brother's unit. Upon entering, a pungent stench assaulted his nostrils, and the entire place was in utter disarray. It was clear that his brother's life had not been going well for many years. But why would there be women's belongings in the home of his single brother? He immediately called to inquire about this. The manager confirmed that only his brother had been living in the apartment. So whose women's underwear was in the closet? And so, the man began knocking on neighbors' doors to ask questions. But the people here seemed rather strange. Whenever someone inquired about the residence, they all kept their mouths shut. At this point, the man noticed that each apartment door had a unique symbol marked on it. After exploring the entire floor, he finally deciphered the pattern. Squares represented men, circles represented women, and triangles represented children, with the numbers below indicating the count of each. But what did the check mark signify? Meanwhile, his wife, who was waiting in the car, was harassed by a strange man. In the blink of an eye, the creep vanished. The woman instinctively used the rearview mirror to check on her children, only to find that the two kids had also disappeared. She hurriedly got out of the car to search for them. After making a loop, she returned to the vehicle to find the strange man sitting inside, with the two children locked in with him. Luckily, an older woman wielding an electric baton chased off the creepy figure. This woman turned out to be the one-eyed girl's mother, and she was also the terrifying helmet-wearing killer. Due to copyright restrictions, this thrilling crime film can only be shared up to this point. The movie's title is Hide and Seek.